Okay, it's just after 6. I'd like to apologise on behalf of the council for the late start of this meeting. As you know, this is an extraordinary meeting of the council, and we're here to discuss one item. Well, we'll begin. Do we have any apologies for absence? Councillor G, Councillor Murphy, Councillor O'Brien and Councillor Richardson.
Can I give an apology to Councillor Bond as well?
Bond. Okay.
Did you say O'Brien as well?
Councillor
Yes.
O'Brien has given us apology.
Yeah. Okay, so sorry, I forgot to welcome the members of the public. The toilets are just out there, and if the fire alarm goes off, then we all leave the we all need to leave the building quickly. There were no tests scheduled. This next part of the meeting is public participation, but I understand we don't have any speakers. That's true? Okay. Interests. Would any members like to declare any interests in the items on the agenda tonight? No? Okay, so agenda item 4. I'd like to invite Steve Capes to introduce the report.
Chair, thank you. This is an update on a report that previously went to the Community Environment Committee in November, which sought authority to appoint advisors to assist the council with its case in defending this appeal. This report updates members on the very experienced advisors that have been secured, and they are listed in paragraph 2.5. Includes one of the top planning barristers in the country, as well as experienced specialists in their fields in other areas as well. The other update, Chair, is in paragraph 2.6, which is an adaptation to the timetable that was originally issued by the planning inspector. There have been a number of changes, and detailed in there is that the inquiry itself starts on the 11th of March, not in February as originally stated. Thank you.
Okay, do we have any questions from councillors about the report? Councillor Wayne.
Thank you. Thanks very much. It's reassuring that we've gone and consulted the consultants. I was just wondering how many of the consultants were involved in the previous initial inquiry, whether they were all or just a few of them. And the second thing, I just was seeking some clarification, because having been involved in this protracted application for 5 years, and one of the important pieces of information that I saw was the which wasn't disclosed by the LLFA and had to be sought by the full content had to be sought by the by Freedom of Information, and the information is from the panel engineer's report on the danger of the dams. I'm just seeking clarification that I don't know what his name was it Mr. Cosgrove, did you say that all that, including the email trail from Chris Rogers through to back to the panel engineer, and has been passed to Mr. Cosgrove for his consideration, and also that JBA Consulting, who I understand were our consultants, or are our consultants, that they've seen all this information as well. I'm talking about the email trail for the panel engineer, because that to me is a pivotal piece of information. Thank you.
Yes, through you, Chair, if I may, to come back to Councillor Wayne. In terms of the first question, who was involved, or how many of the consultants were involved in the original case? The answer is 1, JBA. They've been involved, they were originally appointed by the authority to assess the application not when it was received, but towards the latter end of the actual application itself. In terms of the email thread or email trail, that has gone to JBA, and that has been also conveyed, or JBA's take on that has been conveyed to Tom Cosgrove, the KC, as well.
If I may come back, Chair, fleetingly, just to deal with that in its entirety, the full email trail where the decision is made, then the comment is made to come back to, can this be conditioned? This is from the LFA. That has all gone to those two parties.
Yes.
Thank you. And the other, just if I may just come back, you said one consultant, and that was only JBA. Derbyshire Wildlife Trust gave some significant information about the translocation of the rush pasture in that area, which was very, I would say, was good evidence. Now, I don't notice any communication, and I am reliably informed that they are saying that they have not been contacted in relation to this matter. Can you enlighten me, please?
Yes, through your chair, Mayor. That's incorrect, Councillor Wayne. I'm aware of at least 4 emails that have gone to Derbyshire Wildlife Trust. And I'm also aware, subsequently, following the point when the authority had to disclose to the inspectorate whom we were bringing forward as experts, the gentleman that's been dealing with that, Neil Harwood, from a company called Arup, he's the associate director for ecology there. So very experienced in biodiversity. He has been, the last tally, there's been at least 5 phone calls and Teams conversations, approximately getting close to 8 or 9 hours with the Derbyshire Wildlife Trust on this matter.
Thank you.
Councillor Hobson.
Thank you, Chair. Do you think the people watching this meeting tonight will accept the reasons why this meeting should be held behind closed doors and does not impact upon open and transparent governance?
If I may answer that, Chair. The Council is being asked to approve a resolution that the next report on the agenda is held in private. We're not on that report at the moment. We're talking about the first report on the agenda, which is agenda item 4, and my suggestion would be that we keep ourselves at this stage to agenda item 4 and consider the resolution when we get to it.
Okay, any other questions on agenda item 4? Okay, would anybody like to propose the recommendations in the report? Councillor Hughes.
Yes, I propose the recommendations, officer recommendations in the report.
Would you like to speak at all?
I think it's self-evident in the report.
Do we have a seconder for that? Councillor Burfoot. Would you like to speak, Councillor Burfoot?
Not at this stage, no.
In that case, we'll go to a vote. All in favour? And I think that's unanimous.
Is that on both recommendations?
Oh, sorry, yes. Sorry, to clarify, we were voting on both the recommendations.
Recommendations 1 and 2.
Chair, I said officer recommendations.
Oh, here we are. Yes, right, yeah. The 2 recommendations. Okay, sorry. Yes, I didn't have that in front of me. Thank you. So, to clarify, we are voting on that the Council notes that the arrangements have been taken to appoint experienced legal counsel and experienced expert witnesses, and that the Council notes the revised public inquiry timetable for defending the appeal as set out in section 2 of the report. For both of those recommendations, can we confirm that all in favour? Okay, great. I think that's unanimous. Item 5. This is the item where we're voting to exclude the press and public. Item 5, and I'll just read it out, is to resolve that in relation to the following item, the press and public be excluded from the meeting, as it is likely, in view of the nature of the business to be transacted or the nature of proceedings, that if a member of the public were present during the items, there would be disclosure to them of exempt information within paragraph 3 and paragraph 5 of Part 1 of Schedule 12A of the Local Government Act 1972, and further, that in all circumstances of the case, the public interest in maintaining the exempt information outweighs the public interest in disclosing the information for the reasons set out in the report. Do I have any questions on this? You can, I guess so. Would you like to speak about it?
No, that's fine.
Okay, do I have a seconder? Councillor Dobbs?
I don't wish to speak.
Okay, all in favour?
We need, what about comments?
Oh, sorry, debate, sorry. Debate. Sorry. Yes. Councillor Bond?
Boynton.
Councillor Boynton, sorry.
Thank you. I just want to make some comment in relation to this about the reasons for the discussion being in private. But I think we need to maintain openness and transparency with members of the public. The information is information that we paid for, and it's good. If it's good advice, there should be no issue with it being disclosed in the public domain. The advice is ours and paid for, so surely it's ours to share. There are so many people now who at least know the basis of the advice given, that I have no doubt, without casting any aspersions, that the developer will find out in due course, prior to the appeal, the general content of the advice, therefore negating the need for this meeting to continue in public.
Okay, would anybody else like to speak? Councillor Hobson?
Thank you, Chair. I've already mentioned in the briefing my views about it should be held in public. We've got people who are going to be excluded now, and people who, it said on the Derbyshire Dales website this morning that the meeting will be broadcast. Nothing about it'll stop after a few minutes. What I will say is I'm very disappointed with that decision, if that decision is to exclude the press and public, and I will be asking that there will be full minutes of the meeting. I know it's not going to be recorded, and I will be asking for a recorded vote of all the members. Thank you.
Councillor Shelley?
Thank you. I'd like to come back on that. It's all very well for the opposition to grandstand, which is what this is, on the idea that they are champions of the public faith and that people need to know what's going on. We're talking here about serious issues which relate to both the reputation and the financial well-being of the council. Now, if you're going to treat this irresponsibly, you can make those points, but we've been given very, very strong advice by our officers that this meeting should be held in private so that we can discuss all these matters without fear of information getting out which is detrimental to the council and therefore the residents of Derbyshire Dales.
Councillor Flitter?
Yeah, thank you, Chair. I'm disappointed in the comments that have come forward when we talk about openness and transparency. And I hold my hands up. You're here tonight because I felt that the same way. But in fact, we were given strong, very strong legal advice that if we did not do this, then it would weaken the case for the people of the area of the Cavendish Park and Gritstone Road area. Those people will be contacted. I have those assurances. But I thought that, as leader, that it was vitally important that all councillors be involved and know what's happening here, so we can all take a responsibility, we can all move together and make sure that we all know what this council is doing. I went against the policy of delegation because this is such an important issue, not only for the people of the area, but for members of this council. We all share that responsibility. and I am quite open in the fact that we should be doing as much as we can in the public arena. But this, we are warned against it by very, I'm not going to say clever because I didn't agree with them, but the fact is that we have very strong advice from the legal profession, and we do have to take note of that. So we're trying to find a way round to include the people of Matlock, and also make sure that we are sticking within the law. Thank you, Chair.
Would anybody else like to speak? Councillor Burfoot.
Yeah. To be honest with you members, I think it's far too easy to say this should be in an open public debate. The advice that we've had from eminent, very well qualified barristers and from our own monitoring officer is that we don't do that. Now, let it be borne in mind that those of us who are Matlock ward members are extremely upset by the position that we find ourselves in, but it's too easy to say let's have it in an open session when the clear advice is not to do that. And I don't know about you, but if I'm paying lots of money to somebody who's an eminent planning barrister, you would be very brave to go against that.
Thank you, Councillor Burfoot. Would anybody else like to speak? No. In that case, we'll take this to a vote. So we are voting on whether to exclude the press and public. Yeah, as written in item 5 of the agenda. Can I have all in favour, please? Okay. All against? And anyone abstaining? No. Okay. In that case, that vote is carried.